Hi everyone, and welcome back to our series that we've created that we didn't realize we were creating about get to know Pastor Anna a little bit better. And our call committee had come up with some questions that we wanted to know ourselves and we thought we would share with you. So I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you something a little more personal.
Okay.
And I was wondering who your favorite Bible character is and maybe the story that goes along with it.
Sure. I always think of two characters from the Bible when I think of my favorite stories, and one is the Ethiopian eunuch and the other is the woman at the well, which is in John. And since John's my favorite gospel, which some of you guys know, I guess we'll talk about that story. I love it a lot. It was actually the story that was preached on at my ordination, so if y'all watched that online, y'all probably saw it. And I have a huge icon of the woman in my house, just like on my wall, because I love this story so much. And it's in the Gospel of John. It's in John 4, and the previous story is John 3, and that's the story of Jesus and Nicodemus. And so one of my favorite Johannine theologians, she calls this the tale of two disciples. So you have Nicodemus in 3, and you have the woman at the well in 4. And what I love about the woman at the well is that it's the complete opposite of the Nicodemus story. The woman does not have a name. She spends so much time with Jesus, whereas in the first story, the man, the important man, the religious insider, he does have a name. His name is Nicodemus, and he doesn't get Jesus, and he spends like just a couple verses in conversation with Jesus. But then you get into John 4, and you see what love and relationship actually looks like and how abiding with Christ actually looks. And so you see the woman who is unnamed at the well at the hottest time of day at noon, which would also kind of be unheard of because usually she'd be with other women and it would be at a cooler time of day. But she has done a lot of things, or a lot of things have happened to her in her life that have caused her to be like ostracized from society and from her community. And so she's alone at the well. And so you would think that Jesus would like not approach this woman, not spend time talking to her. You would think that the religious insider would be the one who knew Jesus and who abided with Jesus, but that's not what John tells us. John tells us that this most unlikely person, this one who has been cast aside, is the one who actually gets Jesus. And so sin in the Gospel of John is not something that you do. It's like a state of being. So this woman, like the sin, I guess, would have been society rejecting her, right? Like she was kept away from the other women who would have been getting and fetching water with her. And instead, she finds Jesus as she's doing this thing alone, and she's separated from everyone, and she doesn't really understand what Jesus is saying to her when he's saying, drink of my water. And she's like, what? But she continues asking questions. She doesn't get it. She doesn't really get what Jesus is saying at first, but she sits there. And I can just imagine her like just looking up to him and just like letting him talk until finally something clicks. And Jesus says, I know that you don't have, a husband. You've had, I forget how many husbands, 5, 6 husbands or whatever the story says. And she's like, oh my gosh, like he really knows me. This person knows these deep parts of me, these painful parts of me, these parts of me that separate me from the rest of my community. And he is continuing to pour into me anyway. And my favorite part of the story is when she decides like she's heard enough and this person, this Jesus, has changed her life. The story says she left her jug, she left her water jar, and she goes back into the community and she shares with them about this person that has known everything about her and like still loved her anyway, still chose to be in a relationship with her. And I just imagine like not only how that restored her connection with God, right? That she was able to abide with Jesus and be in that relationship. So that separation, that sin, like that was no more because Jesus was there and pouring into her. But then she was able to do that outward connection as well with her community, and that relationship was restored. And everyone that she went to talk to, they come running back to meet Jesus and to hear about Jesus, and they invite Jesus to stay in their community as well. And I love that story because I think it teaches us that, like, yes, this connection is important, but also this outward connection with the people around us, those who we're called to be in a relationship with, that's just as important. And when you have this relationship right here, you're able to leave your watering jar behind. You're able to leave those things behind that separate you from your community. And I think it's an inspirational story, and it's aspirational as well. Like, if we can dwell in these holy places with Christ, with God, in the Spirit, and this, meditation, or in the church, or, through song or worship, or in the Word when we're reading Scripture, that gives us the strength to be able to go out and reach out into our community and to build those relationships as well. So that's why it's my story.
Well, and now you're living it out, because Fed Up is this.
It is.
Instead of this, right?
Yeah.
So there's that beautiful connection that's there, and you get to live it out.
Yeah, it's the both and. Yeah.
And you have a name. It's Pastor Anna. So
Yes, Pastor Anna. By the way, I don't think we said that. Yeah.
Well, just making sure. Well, I figure if the woman in the well doesn't have a name, but our woman in the
Right,
well
right,
here
right.
has a name, and we want you all to know it. So
Yeah.
thank you for joining again and watching. And remember, if you have any other questions that you would like answered, please submit them. And it's fun. I get to know her even better yet. So we'll see you next time. Woo, bye.
Bye.